Hi friends, welcome to Art Gab number 2. Today I'm just going to go ahead and address the most difficult thing in all of art. We're just going to get that one out of the way, and from here you are smooth sailing. Your entire art journey is completely set and taken care of because we are tackling the one problem that really matters in art. I want to talk about beginning today. On paper, beginning should be the absolute easiest thing in the world. Art is a trivially easy thing to do when you get down to brass tacks. You've got a white canvas in front of you, you got a stick with some colors on it, and you wiggle it around until you're done wiggling it. And then you're done. Even a monkey could do it. Writing, the same thing. Every form of art applies to this. In writing, I'm sitting down with my iPhone and I'm punching with my thumbs all these little letter squares until I'm done punching them, and I'm finished. I've done the act of writing. It's a trivially easy thing to do. But for some reason, it's very difficult for us to sit down and do this trivially easy task because in our minds, what we are doing is serious business. It's important, and most importantly to us, we feel like there are stakes involved in the creation of our artwork, which has something to do with our very survival. Try to put your finger on these unspoken worries that you take to the canvas, and it's kind of hard to find anything that is truly threatening to your well-being, truly deserving of your focus on addressing the important task rather than sitting and wiggling some colors onto a canvas. And yet we're heavily burdened by these 10,000 different worries that we carry with us every time we sit down to create art. When you're faced with worry and you've got all these alarm bells ringing in your head about your own survival, the most natural thing for you to do is to turn your attention towards this important warning sign and address the important problem. Our brains are somehow wired to turn our attention towards matters of survival, of not dying. But because of this natural obsession with attending to our alarm bells, we could easily spend our entire lives optimizing our lives to keep ourselves free from danger, free from problems, and never actually begin to live. We spend all of this time trying not to die, and so in the process of that, we never actually have an opportunity to live the life that's in front of us. You could easily spend your entire life addressing every single one of the problems and obstacles that is sitting before you and your best self. I could fund a psychotherapist's entire career for 50 years going through all of the blocks to my creativity, all of the traumas I have, all of the ideas that my mother placed in my impressionable young mind that have stuck and keep me from living the life that I feel like I should live. And the thing is, not to insult therapy or anything like that, but I could fill my entire life playing that game of whack-a-mole, trying to optimize myself so that I become a more efficient liver of life. and living actual life might never be a component of that actual process. So I think rather than attending to the 10,000 important alarm bells that are telling you this is important, look at this, don't start yet. Do a little bit more research, learn a little bit more about painting, and then when you actually begin painting, you'll make something better. Rather than listening to that signal of importance, the only thing that you can do is, rather than view those warning signs as important, just be a fool and consider them as not important instead, as something irrelevant to your process. Because when you logic it out, you're sitting in your room, you're making art. There are no dangers around you. There are not going to be any negative consequences to you making something. You're just making something, and everything will be fine. My 2-year-old makes crappy drawings all the time, and she's not going to get a letter from the Society of Oil Painters of America saying, don't even bother trying to join our group. We're not looking for amateurs. We want real painters who make real work. Linda in accounting at your office, she's constantly going on about crop circles and energy crystals, and she still gets invited to lunch every day. My Uncle Lou, every single Thanksgiving, goes on and on about politics. And, after he gets a couple drink, maybe even goes into religion. But next year, he's still going to be invited to Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what are you worrying about? What you're going to create is not going to ruin your life if you don't do it carefully, perfectly, correctly. There's no stakes. Just begin. Don't worry about the optimization. The optimization will take care of itself through the process of you just relaxing, having a good time, making something. I'm reminded of the game Super Mario Brothers. Mario is this character who really lives his life. He is effing around and finding out all the time. There's these question mark boxes, and he's constantly running up and jumping and hitting them, and he does not care at all what is in those boxes. Some of those boxes have coins, some of those boxes have fire flowers, but there's poison mushrooms all over the place too. He doesn't care. He's going to hit the boxes because that's life. It's interesting to him to live. So he's going to keep on whacking those question mark boxes, even though there are some dangerous poison mushrooms out there somewhere. We would benefit from running around and just hitting the question mark boxes of life. The reason why we try to optimize our life, the reason why we spend so much time in study and preparation is because we want the comfort of weeding out all of the uncertainty of life. Once life is a known prospect, then we'll feel a sense of comfort of being able to hit the question mark boxes in our life and not have to worry about those poison mushrooms. But the problem is, life is uncertain. And no matter how much optimization and preparation you do for life, I promise you, you are going to die anyways. Kind of a sobering and low thought, but it's true. You're gonna die anyways. But these risks and alarm bells that are going off in our heads all the time are set to such a level of sensitivity that most of the alarm bells that we hear are not genuine threats to our survival, but just our survival instinct doing what it does, telling you, hey, you should worry about this. That survival instinct doesn't need to be behind the steering wheel of your life all the time. It doesn't need to drive and dictate all of your decisions. It's a valuable member of the crew, It's a good thing that there's a voice saying, hey, maybe don't stand so close to the cliff. Back up a little foot. Things might go better for you. But when we let that survival instinct drive, the opportunities of our life are severely reduced, and the life we end up living is one that is very thin. So I encourage you to begin. Just be a dummy about it. Be foolhardy. Be like a little G.I. Joe sitting on a skateboard and just riding down the hill. Woo! It's gonna be okay. You're just making art. It's not that important. But the value of you coming to your canvas and just freely expressing, dropping that sense of worry, and just for once, just expelling yourself onto the page, that is truly life-giving and fun. Not just for you, but for everyone who may have the opportunity to experience your wonderful self-expression. So just go for it. Be a fool. It's going to be totally fine. Peace.